SCA Minhag of the Week, Life Cycles. Bar Mitzvah. Already from the birth of a child, from his Brit Milah, friends and relatives would be blessing the parents about tefillimo, looking forward to the occasion of his tefillin, of his bar mitzvah, in other words, commonly known today as bar mitzvah. Back in Halab, back in Sham, in Egypt, in Lebanon, and so many other places, bar mitzvah or bar mitzvah was known as tefillin, or more commonly by the masses as tefillim. What was this? At what age did they do it? What were the ceremonies involved? What were the rituals? What were the functions? What were the customs? What peculiarities? That's what we're going to discuss in the next few series of videos on Minhagim of Bar Mitzvah. So for this opening video, I'd like to mention the age. So it's commonly thought of 13. Were they rigid about it? Was it done at exactly 13 years of age? Or was it done even prior to that? And if it was prior to that, how much before? So it's known that in North African communities, like in Morocco or in Tunisia, it was already celebrated from the age of 11 and possibly even before. But in Syria, it was generally celebrated sometime after 12 years, and most commonly about the age of 12 and a half. And that's the way it was commonly celebrated in Syria for decades and generations, and I'd say at least from the records that we have from about the 1850s till the Jews left Syria. And here in America, that custom continued and prevailed, that the common minhag was to have the bar mitzvah ceremony from approximately the age of 12 and a half. Why that age? Basically to prepare the lad. In other words, the halachot fall upon the boy who reaches the age of 13, when he reaches 13 years in one day. If you only begin to teach him and indoctrinate him into them when he reaches that exact day, it may not be enough time for him to become familiar with the rituals and to do them properly. So they start approximately 6 months before. It could be 3 months before, 4 months before, whatever it may be, but approximately 6 months before, to get him familiar with things, with the prayers, with how to put on talit and tefillin in a regular fashion, in the extra prayers to say, in the practice of mitzvot, in the reading of the Torah. That way, when the time he reaches 13 years and one day, he'll be proficient and he'll be able to fulfill the mitzvot properly. And that's the way the minhag was when I was growing up. That's the way it continues to be. And not only were they doing it, but they actually considered the boy, for the most part, and I mean for the most part, as a bar mitzvah, as 13, fully 13, not fully 13, we'll get to that. But he already was allowed to have aliyah to the Torah, whether it be on a Monday or Thursday, on a Rosh Chodesh, on a Shabbat. He had aliyah, he made the berachot, and that was considered a full and proper aliyah to the Torah, based upon a halacha known as Qatan Oleh, the Minyan Shib'ah, or Qatan Oleh, the Minyan Shilosha. It's a concept that the Hachamim discuss. Now, there are many halachot and minhagim that are integrated when it comes to bar mitzvah. People have already anticipated that I'm going to be discussing in this life cycles episodes the minhagim of bar mitzvah. They've already started sending in their questions. What are the various minhagim for the tefillin? What about speeches? What about parties? What about the winding of the risu'ot, the straps around the boy's arms? What other minhagim, what peculiar to our community? When did they start going away? What kind of pizmunim? What about saying tahanunim, not tahanunim? We're going to get to all these various minhagim in upcoming episodes. But please, don't wait for me to say something or for me to possibly leave out something that you're waiting for. Write in your questions, minhag@scaupdates.org. Address them to me, Joey Mosseri, regarding bar mitzvah minhagim, and Be'ezrat Hashem, I'll be sure to get to them. Thank you.